So what's going on, guys? It's Captain America. Hope you guys are well, and thank you so much for coming onto the channel. So as always, starting off with the match stats. So for this game, we actually won this 4-0. It was a fantastic performance from the boys. Yes, we only had 44% possession, but in total we had 9 shots against the opposition, and they only had 1 against us. So again, a very good, like, let's say, counter-pressing, counter-attacking style of play that we had for this game. And even defensively, you know, we kept a clean sheet. I had an 8.2 rating, which was a great defensive performance, and you'll see some really good possessions won. You know, in total I had 7 possessions won. I only lost 1 time, and then I made 2 tackles at 100%. So again, do enjoy the video. It's a great defensive performance, but overall as a team we did play very well. We were counter-pressing them, as mentioned, as much as we could. Yes, we had some AI players, which of course makes it a bit more challenging, but again, you know, we did play well, and do enjoy the video. And what we're going to be talking about today, again, is just mainly around transfers. As we know, you know, it's the summer market, and yeah, there's been so much activity, as we all know, but you know, that the main, let's say, team that I feel won't do as great as they expect. I think they're going to get pipped by, let's say, the likes of Arsenal and Tottenham this year. I feel it's going to be Chelsea. I don't think they're going to have a great season. You know, they're having such a major shake-up, let's say, within the senior back room, let's say, level. You know, you got the likes of like Bruce Buck, who's leaving. You got Marina, the main like right hand woman, let's say she was for Abramovich. So and also, you know, you got, like, let's say, Peter Cech, who's also deciding to leave as well. So you know, there's a massive reshuffle, of course, they're going to be doing, especially with the new owners now. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Chelsea. I think they're going to be going through this stage now where they're going to be like recuperating and rejuvenating, let's say, the back room. But again, it's going to be a case where the transfers that they're going to make are going to be vital. And you know, they've been rumoured with some really key names or important names out there. You know, you got the likes of Sterling coming from Man City, who hasn't been playing quite regular football for Man City. I know, you know, the quality of the players that Man City do have, you know, there has to be some sort of rotation always. So it's always going to be very interesting to see, you know, what always happens in this stage. And unfortunately for Sterling, you know, his form hasn't been that great as well lately. You know, again, his starting position hasn't been as frequent as he'd had hoped for. So I moved back to London. You know, he was a QPR boy when he started off. So, you know, it's going to be a move back to London, his hometown as such. So I think that will be an interesting move, and I think it'll be a good move for him if he does want more game time. You know, at Chelsea, he'll get that. Again, it just depends on his form and his performance, and hopefully he doesn't do, like, you know, follow suit to Hazard or even Drogba and dive all the time. So let's see. I think it'll be really interesting, but I do see him making the move around like 50 mil. You know, his valuation isn't that high, you know, due to his, you know, recent performances, but I do feel like 50 mil would be the purchase that Chelsea would make for that. And then, of course, they've also been interested in a defender all, let's say, summer. You got Kunde for Sevilla, who's been going through a lot of the rumours. I think that's going to be a strong interest and maybe a buy. But now you got also Barcelona that's interested in him, so it's going to be an option. You know, Barcelona do need a centre back, and you know, as we've seen, you know, was it Manchester United who were actually trading, or I think, no, Barcelona were requesting, like, look, we want money and also Maguire. But I don't know, Man United, you know, they're so dumb. They're like, nah, we're going to keep Maguire, man. He's our captain, isn't it? He's like the best player for Man United. So, no, I think that is just pure banter. So, but again, De Jong, that's going to be a move that's going to be made, like, very soon. But we'll talk about that soon. You know, keeping it on, like, De Ligt, for example, you know, moving from, like, Juventus. He's a world-class player. You know, he's always been a fantastic player for, like, Ajax when he moved over to Juve. He's had like a so-so season. You know, Juve didn't do well this year. You know, you got AC Milan as well as Inter Milan that have, you know, rejuvenated their squad over the past seasons now, and they're now back, hopefully, and consistently at the stage that they used to be. You know, they were always contenders for, like, the title. You got the Champions League. You know, you got the fantastic teams that were playing against Liverpool in the 2005 final. So, you know, you got the players that were just insane for them. So it's good to see AC Milan and Inter Milan back, you know, fighting for that top position. Same with Roma and Napoli as well. But then Juve, you know, they haven't done very, let's say, well. You know, they've always had like an age squad. You know, now they've got Chiellini that's left, and then again, they don't really have youthful players. And, you know, Dybala's now leaving as well. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens with Juve. But they do need to sign more youthful players and just develop them, because at the moment they're going to get left behind with the likes of like AC and Inter now, man. Like it's going to be them like consistently fighting for like Champions League. But no, I think, you know, with De Ligt, if he does move, Juve is going to be gone. I don't know what the hell's going to happen to them, but that may be a good move. I don't know if it will. I don't know if he's suited to the Premier League. You know, as mentioned, he didn't have a great, you know, periods at, let's say, Juve. Of course, he's made some fantastic, you know, tackles. I've seen some videos where he's made like last-ditch, tackles, and it's been fantastic. But over the past couple of seasons, you know, the 2 seasons, it's been dropping off his performance. So, no, I think he'll be an interesting purchase if he does move to Chelsea, but I don't think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be an average player for Chelsea. I just don't see him moulding well. It just depends on who he's going to be partnered up with. Of course, you've got Rudiger that's now left. So who's going to be there in the centre-back position? Are they going to buy Koundé and partner him, you know, up with De Ligt, or are they going to go with the 38, 39-year-old Thiago Silva, who's an actual don of a centre-back? He's always been one of the most phenomenal centre-backs out there, even when he was at PSG. And I always liked him, you know, even like on FIFA, I used to always purchase him on like career mode, because he was a don of like a centre-back. So even at the age that he currently is, you know, as mentioned, like 38 or 39 years old, he's still a very strong defender. But of course, now is the time where he's too old. I think next season he's going to move back to Brazil or whatever the case is. But again, you can't rely on like someone at that age to perform consistently. So you have to look for someone younger. So I do feel that Koundé and De Ligt will be like the 2 purchases that Chelsea will make. But no, I think that'll be interesting to see what happens. And then again, talking about De Jong now, you know, it looks very likely 65 mil that he's going to be moving over to Manchester United, especially with his old boss and, you know, the philosophy that he wants to, let's say, create at United. So I think it's going to be an interesting season for them. I think, you know, Ronaldo, again, has been in the limelight. He's just unsure if he wants to stay at United, you know, with the signings he was saying that we're not making, you know, as a team. They need to be a top priority. But, you know, it'll be interesting to see what his thoughts are on De Jong. But they shouldn't stop on that one signing. I think they need to make many more signings, you know, in defence, for example. Maguire isn't, you know, a great centre-back, so they need to do something on that side of things. But again, De Jong can operate on a centre-back to, like, defensive midfielder and then even, like, box-to-box. He's a fantastic, versatile player. So it'll be great to see where he is going to be positioned. But no, I think, yeah, with United, they need to make many more purchases, and I do feel that Ronaldo's going to be leaving next year. I think he will stay this year, but they're not going to get Champions League, and he wants to get Champions League consistently, especially at the age that he is now, man. Like, he just wants to, like, I don't know, make history with something and then just retire. But I do see him moving back to Sporting and getting Champions League and doing quite well with them. So, no, that'll be interesting to see what happens with United, so we'll keep a close eye on them during these videos, and maybe when they make a bit more signings, we'll talk a bit more in detail about them and analyse potentially where they'll be positioned and how their play style will potentially be. And then, of course, Newcastle with their money, you know, they've got the rich owners, as we know. You know, now they're looking at piping, you know, was it Rafinha away from Arsenal's hands? You know, they've got the money, they've got the transfer, you know, the budget that they need to acquire players. They've just acquired Botman, for example, who's a fantastic, strong and physical, let's say, centre-back. And he was rumoured with Liverpool quite a while back. I can't remember, I think maybe a season or 2 seasons ago. But no, he's a fantastic, strong player, and I feel that that's going to be a really good purchase for Newcastle to strengthen up that back line. But now they're also looking at, let's say, the attacking side of things. You know, you got Joe Linton that was quite good last year. He was playing not as a striker, but more like a midfielder, I think it was. And he was doing quite well in that position. And, you know, he's Brazilian, and, you know, he's got his the new rumour at Newcastle being with Rafinha coming over there from Leeds. So I think that's going to be really interesting if they do purchase him. Of course, as mentioned, you know, they've got the budget there available. Arsenal are going to be a bit stingy, especially as they've made a couple of purchases, don't get me wrong. You know, they've got Jesus now, another Brazilian, so they were going for like a Brazilian samba vibe, Arsenal are. But I hope that they don't end up like a Bolivian vibe at the end of it, because, you know, they need to mould, they need to gel, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Arsenal. But no, I think with Newcastle, they've made one signing now, Botman, so Rafinha would be, like, let's say, a really good purchase for them, especially on the attacking side of things. But again, it just needs to be understood if Rafinha would like to go for, like, I don't know, Europa side of things, with Newcastle potentially fighting for it, or just go to Arsenal that's going or are in Europa, for example. So that'll be interesting to see what move he makes in that case. And then of course you've got Dembele's situation, and he's one of the individual players that's been rumoured for Chelsea as well, alongside like Sterling, as mentioned, in that let's say wing type of position. So with Dembele, he's got like his contract is coming up, and he wants to have the discussions with Barcelona on what is, let's say, the good terms for him on the contract side of things. But of course he's a very injury prone player. Like, he was fantastic at Dortmund, but then when he went to Barcelona, for the price value that he was and the age that he was, I think that was a really horrible purchase. Same with like Malcolm that they done with Zenit, which was a while back Barcelona. But again, they've always had some like juju magic in that wing area, and it's unfortunate that Fati now plays in that area, and he's been injured as well quite lately. So I don't know what's happened. I don't know who's done some voodoo magic, man. But yeah, Barcelona's wingers are on, yeah, they keep getting injured. But yeah, with Dembele, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because he's looking at, like, I don't know, an improved contract. I don't know, with the values or something. Like, don't get me wrong, his contract, like what he's currently on, like what he's paid, is just insane. Especially for his work rate that he doesn't give on the pitch, and he's mostly on the back room, like getting in the injury room and just getting massaged or whatever, physiotherapy or whatever crap that he needs to, just to get fit again, and then one match later he's back injured. So I don't know, man. I think Dembele is a special case. If he does move to Chelsea, that would be a horrible buy. I think he's going to get injured, especially how physical the league is. But no, let's see what happens with Dembele. I think he's going to stay at Barca, but I think that he's just literally pulling Barcelona's pants down and being like, look, I'm going to exploit you guys. I'm going to take all the money that you guys are going to give me, and just, I'm going to get my physio done. Like, this guy's just chilling, man. Like, I love it. Like, he's a baller. But of course, like, Barca's in a situation where they've purchased Christensen as well as Kessie, wherever it is, from his AC Milan. And they can't be registered, unfortunately, because of financial fair play. Plus, they've got like a salary cap or something like that. So I think they need to offload, let's say, Dembele, in order for them to like register these two players to be able to play. And they've got them for free, but again, they're unable to play them. So that's going to be pure banter to understand what they're going to be doing with Dembele and what the situation is going to be with these two players, because they've also been linked with Azpilicueta. So that's going to be interesting to see the Barca situation, especially how broke they are as a club. And then of course you got what is it called, Ericsson, that's looking likely to either decide staying at Brentford, or not staying, but being moved to Brentford, United. I mean, even like Leicester's now in the equation, so that's going to be a really interesting move. Especially Brendan Rodgers, he's got like a fantastic passing type of style. And that's going to suit Ericsson, especially with the players that they currently have, such as like Tielemans. They've got Pereira, they've got Vardy, they've got fantastic players. So I think that'll be an interesting move if he does make it to Leicester. I think that'll be a really, really good move for him. Or if he does stay at Brentford. But I think the best move would be Leicester now in this situation. But no, I think that'll be good. But yeah, guys, we're coming at the end of the video. I do appreciate you guys' time as always. Please do like and comment, as you know, just anything that you guys want in ways to improve these videos. And those that are oldies and goldies, I do appreciate you guys as always. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on tomorrow's video. Take care. Bye bye.
Stoppages here.
Nice.
A decisive clearance
A to
it
góry
was.
to gra.
And
GG's.